Hi guys, this is Pack Rat 556, and we're getting a nice opportunity today to get out into the winter weather and the snow and the ice, do a little bit of hiking, and work on a couple of things once I get to my camp, such as setting up a fire, maybe cooking a little soup, and maybe a couple other projects that I've got planned. We'll see how the daylight holds out. Okay, well, I've arrived here at camp, and that is my fire pit. If you watched some of my recent videos where I was doing camp cooking, actually not the latest one, but the one with the grits and Spam, that's my fire pit. So I've got a challenge in front of me here today to get fire going. Okay, I've gone ahead and started getting camp set up here. This is a temporary camp for me right now, and I've just set up a 5x8 tarp. Just a cheap tarp, not real high quality, but it works for today's purposes. I had it strapped on my backpack from last trip out, so I just came out with that. You can see I've used my Fisker's trowel, which is here. I do have a review on the channel, just in case you're curious. $1 tool. And I just kind of dug the snow out from under my lean-to. I'm going to put down that thermal space blanket right there and use that as a barrier while I'm working on my firewood to keep me dry, help reflect some heat back up under me, keep my clothes dry. Just in case you're wondering about clothing, I am wearing a military Gore-Tex jacket with the hood up to keep my wool cap dry. I am wearing some thick wool gloves, wearing thermals underneath. I do have on waterproof boots as well, so I got some decent clothing, but when it's 20 degrees and the wind chill's bringing it lower than that in the teens, this is tough work. Okay guys, well, I'm in luck on firewood, and I found this tree, and this is dead. So it's going to be somewhat dry, and the reason I know that is because I used my hatchet to chop into it a little bit. I don't know how well you can see that, but it looks like it's pretty dry in there. So my first instinct is to use that Gerber axe there to cut this tree down, but then what's going to happen in these conditions is that wood is going to fall down into snow, and then I'm going to have snow, sleet, ice, and eventually water in my firewood. So the awful thing is I can actually reach this with my hand. It's about 7 feet, 8 feet in the air, and I'm going to be able to bend that down. And what I'm going to do is use my Gerber folding saw, and I'm going to take it off from the top one piece at a time, and that way I can prevent it from falling down into the ice and hopefully just preserve what little bit of dryness this piece of wood does have. Just a thought there. I'm going to take what I need, and that way I'll have a little bit left for next time. Okay guys, I've got some firewood collected up here, some materials I think I can work with. And I'm going to use this Gerber backpacks. You can see it here. I've talked about it a time or two on the channel. And I didn't bring a large survival type knife with me today. I just have this, and I have a saw, and I have a small knife. But I'm going to use this to actually baton with for my firewood. So let's give it a try, see how it looks. You can see it works pretty good, and that wood that I found is nice and dry on the inside. Looks like red oak, so it's going to be good firewood, definitely. This wood is real brittle, so sometimes instead of splitting straight through, it does chip off a little bit, like that. But these will make good chunks to burn in my fire. Here's another lucky find that I got. This was standing, so it's somewhat dry. It hasn't collected a lot of ice on it. This stuff is real dry and brittle. It's going to be excellent as getting my fire started. It's going to be a challenge anyway. This nice dry, brittle, semi-rotten wood, it's going to be good. Just thought I'd share that with you. I'll keep the firewood processing going, and I'll bring you back when I'm ready for fire making. Okay, all that firewood preparation definitely paid off, as I have got a nice warm blaze going now here in my fire pit. Took a little extra time today, basically just because I needed to scout to find the right wood and take my time in preparing it into small pieces, making splinters and that type of thing. You can see I've got some bigger pieces of wood around the outside of my fire, and that way they can be warming up and getting prepared for their turn in the fire as fuel. But just taking a moment to warm up by this fire, because preparing wood and everything, setting up camp on a day like today in the 20-degree weather with below 20 in the teens wind chill. And you can tell by the flame that there's definitely a good breeze out here. It definitely is nice to sit by the fire. So I'm going to take it easy for a few minutes and enjoy the warmth, and I'll bring you guys back as progress is made. Stick with me. Okay, I've got a real nice fire built up, guys. And I've gone ahead and put a little bit of a heat reflector behind my fire to kind of bring the heat back towards my lean-to. That's really helping a lot, actually. I was kind of surprised. I didn't really take a whole lot of time to build it up nice, and it's actually making quite a bit of difference. But I've really taken my time today to make sure that this fire's built and to have a good supply of wood so that I can maintain this fire just to keep some heat in my camp. And the sun's starting to go down, so it's getting dark out. Temperature's really dropping, I can tell. I can feel, my hands are getting cold. Feet just a little bit, not too bad. But I'm keeping bundled up. Anyway, wanted to take just a minute to share one little tip with my friends here on YouTube. There's a lot of guys on YouTube that know a whole lot more than me. I'm by no means a professional or an expert. I'm just a person who enjoys this type of thing, and when I have time, I get out and do it. I'm not afraid to try. And I'm not afraid to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. And as a result, you do learn. And so there's a lot to be said about watching videos and reading books and looking at websites, because you can learn a lot of great things. I definitely have. But it's not until you actually get out here in the field, in the wilderness, and you actually put some of those skills to use that you learn by trial and error. And there's a lot of errors to be made. But as a result of those errors, we do learn and improve our skills and our knowledge. And we become, more successful when we do actually go out in the field. So just an idea I'd like to share, because I know there's a lot of guys who read and have that knowledge, but it's not until you actually get out here and practice that you develop your skill. So it's a combination of knowledge and skill, and skills attained through trial and error, as I said. So just an idea, a tip I wanted to share with my friends on YouTube. I'm going to get back to camp, working on camp and working on dinner. I may share that with you guys. Stick with me. Take care. Alright, well, I've been working at camp all day, so it's time to have something warm. It's starting to get dark now, so it's going to be crucial to have something warm, kind of keep me warm from the inside out. I've got my water on, it's starting to boil, and this is a kosher soup mix. It's chicken with pasta. This whole thing weighs 2 ounces, and it actually would make about 3 cups of soup in a cup that size. That's just a standard 16-ounce Nalgene cup. So I'm going to use about a third of this, maybe a little more, just to make it hearty. And I've already got the water starting to boil, so all I have to do is just mix this in. It's chicken, vegetable flavor with pasta. So I'm going to go ahead and get this prepared, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay guys, this will probably be my final clip for today, because this is really starting to get dark out, and my battery's starting to get low. So I'm going to show you what I got here. I'm using my pencil headlamp. You can see I've got a pretty good rolling boil. I'm not sure how well you can see, actually. Let me zoom in here for you. Yeah, it's rolling good. This is actually a real chunky soup. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a glove on, because that handle might be a little bit hot. That's one thing whenever you're handling your canteen cup right in your fire like that. You want to make sure you use a glove. Back that zoom off a little bit. I don't know how well you guys can see this, but this soup actually turns into a nice hearty little soup with pasta and little chicken and vegetables, carrots, peas. And it's going to be real nice, because as you can see, I'm going to give you a last little look around my camp. It's cold, and this will be nice to warm me up. So I really appreciate you guys watching today. And I'm not going to eat in front of you, because I know you don't have any delicious warm soup to eat while you're looking at this on your computer. But I'm going to give you a last look around my camp, and then I'm going to sign off for today. But again, I appreciate all your support. Hope you guys are doing well. Get out, enjoy the weather, and take care.